went red. We went to sleep. It stayed red. We did some parade laps, and then we finished. Happy to be here racing in the 24-hour. Was hoping for more racing, and yeah, we look to the next year maybe for more. It puts into perspective when you're like driving through, like how separated like around the track things are, and there's people just like camping everywhere around the racetrack. And like it makes you think about how big actually the track is when you see all of the camping spots everywhere.
How's it going? Man, it's 1 hour of sleep to Germany.
Yep. Now you get my version. As you can see, we're here for the 24 hours Nurburgring. I was in bed for 12 hours. Should be a fun day on track. It's been kind of threatening of rain this whole week. I think we're finally going to get some rain over the next 24 hours. Haven't driven on the track in the rain yet. In this car, the very first time that I drove here, it was raining. Since then, that was 5 years ago, I haven't driven in the rain at this track. So it's going to be an interesting race, without a doubt. We have 4 drivers on the team. So we qualified over 3 sessions, P2. We'll be starting, I think, around 53rd overall out of like the 170 cars that are racing. I will be the second driver in the car, and then the lineup will just go 1, 2, 3, 4 through the driver order all the way through the race. Wow. So this is always like the craziest weather, and it's the beginning of the race. So we have to like make a tire choice before the cars go out. And it's going now. I think in this case, the best thing you can do is just be clean when it's conditions like this.
But it just has to dive in before the white line.
Yeah, it starts raining in the first 5 minutes, you don't got to deal with it.
I mean, at some point it's going to be probably mixed in the race, you know, where we're not sure what tire to put on. So it's a name of just being like controlled until the sun comes up tomorrow and then what happens. The nighttime was so much fun. At night, like everything else disappears on the track. So like you get to see exactly and tune in more to like the track rather than like all the stuff in and around the racetrack. The weirdest thing at night is like there's fog in places, and then there's also smoke that's like crossing across the track. So it's like, is it smoke? Is it like a car that's, you know, got steam or something, like crashed and has steam? The other thing that's challenging is like the boards are a lot harder to see at night, like the 120 and the 60s. It's just a board that they hold up that has reflective tape on it, basically.
You kind of really got to be looking for it.
Yeah. It started raining on the outlap, so exactly what I was saying right before.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't put the rain tires on. Now it's raining on track, but they switched. So as we were coming to the green flag, they went to a rain tire. So I don't know where we're sitting in class, but it's going to be pretty far back just because we boxed and put rain tires on. But 24-hour race, so that's the safe thing to do.
First like 5 laps were pretty good, and then the last 2 starting to get a little tired. It's a bit different. There's a lot going on, obviously, with the track. And so as you get tired, I think like I was starting to have to think more about what I wanted to do on the track. And then it made the traffic coming up a little bit more challenging. I think when it becomes nighttime, it's going to be extra tricky. Whoa! And stuff like that. Yeah, there's a car that just like went 2 wheels off at one of the highest speed corners in the track, because the problem is like the slower cars aren't really checking mirrors. Yeah. I think I had 1 free lap. I think it'll get much worse, yeah. Yeah, like that.
My name is Niklas Wiedmann, and I'm also driving on the car together with Alec in the 24-hour race this weekend. I've always been interested in cars. I also started with playing Gran Turismo, and I got really good at it, and then we started to look for some karting teams, and I really enjoyed it there. I think I was not that bad in it, and then we decided to go for the car because it's way more fun, it's more attractive for sponsors, and it's a better solution to get further and improve on your career.
What's your mindset?
How can I explain it? Like always being a bit chilled, but also respect the speed, especially in terms of racing. You always have to keep some respect, especially for the Nordschleife, but also have a bit of fun on track, enjoy what you're doing, and I think you have to find a balance between those things, like having respect and having fun on the track, and then everything else comes by their own.
Red flag. It won't start until at least 7 a.m., so we're gonna go get some sleep. Okay. Well, taking a nap, seeing that I think we were still P2, and then all of a sudden it gets very quiet. It's quite easy to sleep, but that means there's a red flag. So as you can see, it's a bit tricky to see at the moment, so I guess they are expecting this condition all the way until the morning. So I think we probably don't drive until about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. So I was looking forward to the 24-hour event, and now it ends up being like around an 8-hour and like a 10-hour race. In the restart, they may start the cars and give them the gap that they had on the track, or they may just start from like the 3 separate starting groups that there were. We led off in the second run group. We were second in class when the red flag came out, and by the time, I don't know exactly. So it's still foggy, although now it's race about to start and it's the most foggy that it's been. We got to the parking lot. Instead of going into the track, because it's damp and just like everything's wet and humid, slept in the back of the car for another hour and a half or 2. The fog. Here we are.
Just we need to speak before, not that after the race someone is not happy, or it's just for me important. For everyone in the team is happy with the decision. If not, we need to find some compromises.
Let's go for a win. So whatever we think is the best option.
It's win or nothing.
Yeah, I think the ideal situation then makes sense that Josh, Philip, and Nicholas. It went red. We went to sleep. It stayed red. We did some parade laps, and then we finished. So I think that's the short story. We in P2. It's not quite as satisfying as what we were hoping for. I think a fight to the end for P1 would be more satisfying, but it is like it is. So the weather, I think, prevented us from doing any more. And yeah, for me, the first time to run here at night was quite fun. I was hoping for more opportunity to do so. The one stint that I had was quite nice, and fighting a bit with other cars, learning more about the track. Happy with the team, enjoyed my co-drivers, and always happy with the Cayman. It's quite a fun car to drive, so happy to be here racing in the 24-hour. Was hoping for more racing, and yeah, we look to the next year maybe for more. So each one of the drivers in the car, it was their first 24-hour race at the Nurburgring. For every driver besides myself, it was their first 24-hour race ever. And so there is that feeling of wanting to complete a challenge, and the challenge wasn't there. And then not having the opportunity to complete the race in its entirety, or at least have an opportunity to fight beyond one stint in the car, was not as gratifying as having the opportunity to really push yourself to the limit. I got to experience the nighttime driving. I got to experience a little bit of the mixed conditions driving. I got to experience the track in a faster car than I've ever driven around the Nürburgring. So all of those experiences were great, and I feel like I did a good job. And at the same time, I know that there's more there, and I didn't really get the opportunity to push for more on the racetrack. It reminds me how uncontrolled everything is, and you just are able to influence what you're doing in the car in any particular lap, and everything else is beyond your control. So when you're in the moment, you have to make the most of whatever moment you're in.